created, and you're going to have to let some things go. And that's hard for a lot of people to do. And that's why they stay in their same circle, in their same season, robbing Paul to pay Peter, waiting for this paycheck only to be, you already know it's empty before you cash it. Before it goes in the bank, you already know ain't nothing left in it because you're not allowing him to be God. You've given him some of you and you love him, but you haven't given up everything that he may have required you to give up. And you may have to do it. And I'm telling you, he will require you to do things. And I know it for myself because he's, like I said, he's required me over the years to do stuff I didn't want to do. But I did it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyways because I know when he talks to me and I know it ain't about me. And even the fact of coming out here, when we moved out here, and I've told you, that wasn't something we wanted to do. We didn't come to a desert. We like green grass, trees. We like stuff like that. But he said, give it all up and go. A company that, you have over 200 some employees. Everything's going perfect. You got your dream home. You got everything that you thought you wanted. It's all good. You're not wanting for anything. Anything you want to do, you can do because it's just that good. And he gets up in the morning and says, let it all go. Leave. Just leave to a place we've never been. But we did it. And the thing about it, of course, when you're married, you got to be on the same page. So he's telling me, but my husband got to agree too. I can't just get up and leave him. But the thing about when he wants you to do something, he has you on the same page. Has you on the same page that when I went to him, and it's his company, because I'm saying basically give up your company. That's your company. Yeah, I've got to give up the house, but you got to give up your whole job that you work for, that you've created. And let's go. And he says, where are we going? Where are we going? I don't know. I didn't know where I was going. He just said, go. But when I thought it, and he spoke at Arizona, we said, okay, must be confirmation. One thought it, one said it. Let's go see. That same week, got on the plane, flew out here with all the kids. Where is he sending us? Didn't look good. Looked horrible. It was hot. It was real hot. It was like June or July. But we still knew. We never said no. He said, okay, Sil, you get the kids and stuff together, pack their stuff, get all of them. I'll stay, close up stuff. You and the kids move out here. We moved out first because we didn't question or doubt what he said because we knew what he said. And even though it didn't look good, and I'm telling you, along the way, it gets even darker when you're moving in its path. It don't even look great. You didn't move and jumped out and like, okay, we're looking for, the rainbow and everything else. Now we broke out here. And now we don't have nothing because we're listening to you. We gave it all up. But we still kept praising. And we still kept giving of what the little bit we did have to give. We still kept him number one. He never changed from where he was at. Never changed from where he was at. And everything that he said and told us, then it all came to pass. Everything. Beyond what it was even like back there. It went even beyond because we remained faithful. But before we could get to that point, we had to give everything up. Everything. We had to go from here, where the company was bringing over at $7 million and some dollars a year to zero, where we're on the floor counting quarters to get milk. That's how bad it got from here to here, just leaving and hearing what he's saying. But we never gave up our praise and we never let him go. We knew what he said. And it's like, and in the end of the day, you're still God. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, you are still my God. Period. He's not just your God when you're on top of a hill. He's not just your God when he's giving you something. And the thing about it is, you may be required to give up something. You may have to let it go. We just let the house go, and it sat there for like 3 years before it even sold. We had 8 acres of ground. It was like a 7,000 square foot home. Everything the kids want, we had there. From saunas, basketball courts, anything they wanted. Go-karts, we got them, whatever they wanted. Living the life, or we thought. And he said, let it go. Give it up. Just let it go. And we did. Because it's not about what you have. It's about him. It's about him. And so you may be tested to see, are you praising him? Is your hands up in the air because you got a great house? Is your hands up in the air because you got a paycheck? Is it up in the air because things are so great? Do they stay up if I snatch your house from you? Does your hand stay up if he removes somebody from your life? Does your hand stay up if you realize it ain't like it was yesterday? Or do they go up and come down? If you want the great things in life, your hands got to go up and they got to stay up, period. They don't come down. The praise never leaves, never leaves. You never let Christ out of you. You should always be a light for him, period. Because why? He's that good. He's God. He's Lord of Lords. He's everything. He's everything and so much more. How can we even doubt serving him? How can we not do what he wants us to do? Why is there a doubt? Why is it a half step? Why do you got to take a moment when he tells you to do something? Why can't you just say yes and amen? Because you don't know him like that. Because if you knew him like that, you just move. And that's why I said you got to know him for yourself, not looking for somebody to prophesy to you and lay hands on you. Get to the point. God, speak to me. I need to hear your voice. I need to know what you're saying. I need to know what you're saying to me. I need to know you for myself. I need to know the difference between my thinking and your voice. I need to know because he may require you to do some major things in your life, but you need to do it. And if you don't, that's okay too. And I'm not saying because you don't do it, you're dying and going to hell. I ain't saying that. But you might be missing some of the greater things in life. You might be missing some things when you see him face to face. He said, yeah, you were comfortable with this lifestyle. You was good, right side of town and all that, but I had all of this. I had all of this for you. But you couldn't get there because you couldn't give up that. Because you were holding too tight. We can't, only thing we need to hold tight to is Christ. Anything else, if it comes and goes, oh well. Oh well, anything else. The only thing we need to be holding on to and never letting go is him. And when you get to that point in your life, you're going to see doors open up that you didn't even know was there. Because when you get to that point in your life, you don't got to ask him for nothing. Because he already knows your needs. He already knows your wants. And he wants to bless you more than you want to bless yourself. He already knows that. He already knows what he got lined up for you. You're thinking like this and he's thinking like that. He's like, you got a small picture. You're like, hey, do you know who I am? I got some great things in store for you. You can't even imagine what I have for you if you just let me be God. And if I'm God, I'm in control of every aspect of you. Your children, your husband, your wife, your house, your car, your finances, your health. I got it all. Don't doubt me in any of it. Give it all to me and let me do what I want to do. If you want all that I have for you, and when he's choosing you, he's got great things for you. So when he chose Elijah, and then Elijah chose Elisha, there was a purpose and there was a plan for him. But it was a good plan. It was a great plan. But I wanted you to see that part of it right there, because right then and there, you didn't see where Elijah doubted. He gave up everything that he was making his finances with. He just burned it up and said, see you, family, kiss you, love you, bye. He left instantly, became a servant. You may have to do that. You may have to give up something and go down 3 or 4 steps in order for him to get you to the steps he really wants you at. But you holding on to the 4th step, and he said, I'm trying to take you up to level 12. But this is where you're at because you holding on everything so tight. That's a horrible thing to do. First of all, it's always better to give than receive. That should be in your spirit in the first place. That just should be there in the beginning. You're not gaining all this wealth and different things in life just to hold on to it all tight. Just about you and yours. It's not about that. We should be here trying to help somebody. You should be doing something for somebody. Just something you should be doing for somebody. Anyways, if we go to just kind of let you know a little bit about him, just flowing through his story just a little bit. If we go to 2 Kings chapter 2 and kind of just blowing through all of this. Some I'll read and some I'll talk on. 2 Kings chapter 2. And it came to pass when the Lord was about to take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilead. Then Elijah and Elisha said, stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Bethel. But Elijah said, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you. So they went down to Bethel. Now the sons of the prophets who were at Bethel came out to Elijah and said to him, do you know that the Lord will take away your master from over you today? And he said, yes, I know. Keep silent. And when I read that, it kind of made me laugh, because when you're reading that and you see, the exclamation point behind that, he's saying, be silent. Basically, almost like, just shut up. I know they're going to take him from me. I don't want to hear what you're saying. Now, these are the sons of prophets. I don't want to hear what you're saying. Don't talk to me. Yes, I know they're taking my master away. Don't say nothing to me. Just leave it alone, because when you have a calling on your life, I don't care if they're prophets, whoever, or pastors, whoever, when God spoke something to you, I can hear from God. I don't need you saying nothing to me. Leave me alone. I need to continue to hear what he's saying, because you didn't got me this far. I definitely can't let go, because now, God will take you so far out that you definitely got to hold on to him. And I just thought, because he's kind of like screaming it to him. Yes, I know. Be silent. Then Elijah said to him, Elijah, stay here, please, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho. But he said, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you. So they came to Jericho. Now the sons of the prophets who were in Jericho came to Elijah and said to him, do you know that the Lord will take away your master from over you to do? A whole bunch of prophets again. He's in another place. He says the same thing. So he answered and said, I know, keep silent. The same thing. He's screaming the same thing to them. Basically, shut up. I don't want to hear you. Be quiet. You don't want to be distracted from what anybody says when God is telling you something else. And the adversary can use anybody he wants to use to get you off course, because the adversary knows what God has for you. He knows where he's taking you at. So God's telling you one thing. He didn't chose you for a purpose. He already said, I didn't chose you to have fruit and that your fruit should grow. I already told you that's why I chose you in the first place. But now I got to get you there. But while you're trying to get there, the adversary is going to throw all kind of stumbling blocks. People talking in this ear, that one talking in that ear. But you're going to do it like this. This is happening, so forth. Sometimes you're going to say, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it, because your ears is in tune with God. This is where Elisha was. He says, yes, I know, be silent. And this is what he told him. And he's telling this to the prophets 2 separate times, because he knew there was a purpose on his life. He knew that when that mantle went on him, that's why he could get up and go. He didn't doubt it. He knew God had something for him. If God's in the picture, it's all good. He's in the picture. I don't know what he got, but God's got me. It's just all great. You just know, because you know the God that you serve. And I liked how he just went and he left it. And as he's going along, he don't want to hear what nobody's saying. My eyes on him. And even when Elijah is telling him, stay here, I got to go here. I'm with you. Wherever you go, I'm going. I ain't staying nowhere. I'm keeping my eyes on you. Like Christ tells us, keep your eyes on me. Keep your eyes on me. You ain't looking here. You ain't got time to look here. You ain't got time to look over there. You don't care what anybody else is doing. You ain't got time to be in nobody else's business. What does he have for you? That's why I'm saying when you're on all the different things, the Instagrams and all that. And I'm not saying, on it or whatever. I get on sometimes and get off, and I keep telling my kids I'm shutting it down, but then I don't know how to put the videos out if I shut it down. But it's like, I don't care what anybody's doing. I don't never look at other people's pages. People say, why didn't you answer, whatever. I don't care. God's got a purpose for me. What's he have for me? I don't have time to see what he has for you. I can pray for you if you need me to, but I don't have time to be all up in your business when he got something for me. How do we got time to be all up in somebody else's life when you haven't even accomplished what he has for you? Elisha knew he got something for me. And I'm not leaving, and I'm keeping my eyes on you, Elijah. And that's why each and every morning, how are you going to get up and not read the word? How can you ever get up and not read the word when the word is what speaks to you, when that's where all the power comes from? Everything comes from it. That's your sword. That's getting up, leaving, and you don't have the sword. You ain't even ready to fight the battle. You can't even conquer what's coming your way, because he says, I chose you and I'm taking you someplace. But he never said that people wouldn't come after you. He never said you weren't going to battle. He just says, I got you. You're going to win the battle. Oh, you got the victory. But he didn't say you weren't going to be in the battle. That's why when Elijah was ready to run and hide, because even though the anointing was on him and he did all that, he still was constantly fighting. It still was a fight. And you might be in a fight. So we get up and we leave. We don't read the word. Then you're out there without your sword. How are you going to win when we're in a spiritual world and Satan's real? How are you going to conquer them when you can't see them? But when you get up and you read the word, you're on fire for Christ. Because you already know, I don't care what comes my way, God got me. It's all good. I don't care. I want to hear what you got to say. Don't tell me nothing. This is where I'm going. When you know God spoke it to you. But you can't do that when you didn't read, because you don't know what he spoke to you, because you ain't take time to hear him. So when the world says something to you, and because they have a title that look like you holier than thou, I'm a pastor, I'm a prophet, I'm an evangelist, because you got the title, but you ain't God. And you can't say nothing to me unless God tells you in the first place. There ain't nothing you can do unless God does it through you. And so why can't we go right to the source that says, I want you? But we're going for people that got titles. So we're missing things. And God forbid the person with the title was in a mood that morning, or they done something crazy. Now they didn't hear from God today. Now they done told you something was a lie, because they didn't take time out to hear from God. Because everybody that got a title ain't going to heaven. He tells you that because he says, you're going to say, Lord, Lord, I done prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name. And he's going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. So don't get caught up in the title. Get caught up in Christ. He can speak to you. Let him do with you as he wants. So as he's going down to here and he's telling them this, and we go down to verse 9, it says, and so it was when they had crossed over that Elijah said to Elijah, ask, what may I do for you before I am taken away from you? Elisha said, please let a double portion of your spirit be upon me. So he said, you have asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if you see me when I am taken from you, it shall be done so for you. And when you go on and you keep reading down through here, he did see Elijah when the chariots of fire and all that came for him, because he kept his eyes on him. And the mantle fell and he picked it up, and he started instantly having signs that he done from the very beginning. The first one was, when he parted the Jordan, just like Elijah did, because now he has a double portion on him. But he said, you're only going to get that if you see me when I leave. Now, and we're talking again, this is God working in both of them. These are just regular humans, but God is working in them. He can work in us the same way. Do we miss things because our eyes ain't on him, and I'm looking at you and what you're saying, and God, I didn't miss my blessing. I didn't miss it. And thinking he ain't never came through, but I keep missing it because I'm not focused on him. If you keep your eyes on him and it's all about him, you don't miss nothing that he has for you. You just get amazed when he just comes. All you keep saying, God just keeps blessing me. He's just that good, because he just keeps coming through, because you ain't missing any of it. Because you ain't a little bit over here and a little bit over there and all up in their business and talking about this person and what you say and how's it work and this and that. You're talking to him for yourself. He'll speak to you. He wants to talk to you. He wants a relationship with you. He loves you. He wants all of that. You the one that's having best friends out here and this and that. He said, I should be your best friend. I should be your everything. I should be all of that. When something great happens in your life, take time out and tell me first, because I already know it anyways, but take time out and share it with me. Something's bad, come to me first. Calling everybody up. Can you pray for me? Pray for me. Why don't you come to him first? You go to him after all their prayers didn't work for you, and you're still in the same situation, still messed up. Then you do your fast. Why don't we do that first? Why don't we go to him first and watch him move? You wouldn't have to go to everybody else, because they can't do nothing for you anyways unless God allows them to, because they're just humans like you are. If they're doing something great, it's God that allowed them to do it. So go straight to the source. Go straight to the source. And so he kept his eyes on who he knew was moving in his life. So here, I just want to give you a couple things that, just so you know just how mighty and powerful Elisha was, because of the God that was in him, because he was sold out to serving him. And that's really what you got to be, sold out. Basically, he's your everything. You just got to be sold out. He had in 2 Kings, chapter 2:19, where he healed the water. Another miracle. They were in a great place. It looked beautiful, but the ground was barren and they couldn't drink the water. And he says, it might be pretty here, but we can't do nothing with it. He took some salt, threw it in the water. The water became good, completely good. Because, okay, if you got something cute, if it ain't doing nothing, all you got something cute. What's it matter? Cute wears off. You walk by it, for a moment, it's like, I need more than cute. I need a little bit more than cute. That wears off. It's got to be so much more to it. And they're saying, the land's great and everything, but it's barren. There's nothing that can happen. So he put salt and it happened. Then he kept moving on. When you look at 2 Kings chapter 2, 23 on to 25, where he's moving and all these little kids are saying, bald head man, But what you don't realize when you're talking about people, you don't know if they're calling on their life. You don't know. You can't be talking about people that God has a purpose in their life, because God says, I'll fight for you. Vengeance are mine. Don't touch mine. And when he calls you, he doesn't expect people to mess with you. And he had a calling on Elisha's life. So as he's walking and all these kids acting stupid, of course, because why are you going to be talking about somebody? It says, the man's going, and so he's bald head man. Elijah puts a curse on them. He cursed them. 42 youth, 42 kids, he cursed them. And 2 bears came out and mauled all 42 of them. So he had power in him to just speak things. And God can do that when he chooses you. He don't just choose you and you're just walking it alone. Once he chooses you, he's in you, working in you. But you got to allow him to work in you. That's why you got to die in self. You live in, once he's in you, it's all Christ. It's no more you. It's no more you. It's all about him. And this is, this is what he done through these people. Then you have the other one, the lady, the widower. They're coming to her, and this is 2 Kings chapter 4, 1-7. You have this lady. She's a widower, and they're coming to take her kids as slaves because she's broken. She goes and she says, my husband served you. He was faithful. I don't have anything, and they're going to take my kids for the debt that I owe. And he said, you don't have nothing? She says, I have one vessel with a little bit of oil. He says, have your sons go gather all the vessels. Go gather them, empty vessels. And they bring them in there. And she keeps filling them up with oil, with the little oil that she has. Because remember, we serve a miracle-working God. He does what we can't do. And it fills all of them. And she says, now what? And she sends her sons to get more vessels. They said, there's no more out there. And then he tells her, go and sell all of the oil. Pay off your debt. And you still have enough money to take care of you and your sons. A miracle that he was able to do. One of the things that Elisha, when you look at his story, he was always thinking about the people. He was always doing things to help the people. Even though he had all that power and might and could do anything, when he done something, it was helping somebody else. It was helping somebody else, and he was able to do that. And then when you look at the Shunammite lady, you look at her story, another one, and I just wanted to kind of look at that because I always liked this story because I just thought, I don't know, I always liked it, always made me laugh. But anyways, if you go to 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 4, and starting at verse 8, and you see this, and I'm kind of speak through it, but you see where Elijah was constantly going through a town. Constantly, he would visit this town, and this Shunammite lady would see him. So she tells her husband, she said, I think this is the man of God. He seems like a man of God. I want to do something for him. So she makes a room for him upstairs, a little room. She puts a chair and a lamp and a bed there for him. She said, so if he comes through, he has a place he can rest his head. I want to do something for him. And which goes to show what type of woman she was. Again, you're doing something for somebody. Again, it's always, you see the people in the Bible that were blessed, all of them, from the wives where they got their husbands and stuff. They went and they fed the camels and they got water for them, and they were doing something. Everybody that got blessed was doing something for somebody. They were in a servant mode because Christ came as a servant. So we're going to be like him. We got to be a servant. You got to do something for somebody besides your household. It's got to be for somebody else. That's when they were really moving and getting blessed. Anyways, this lady, she don't really know him. She sees him coming. She thinks he's a man of God, so she wants to bless him. And this is what she does. So when you come down to the story, he's asking, because he has his servant with him, and he's saying, what can I do for her? Because she's done so much for us. And so he says, go ask her, what can I do? And he goes and he asks the lady, what can, Elisha do for you? And he says, do you need me to talk to the commanders or government or, people in authority here? Do you want me to do anything? What can I do for you? And she goes, I'm good. I live with my people. I'm good. Basically, I don't need anything. Basically, she's just good. And he says, but I want to do something for you. So he tells her in, verse 15, he says, basically this time next year, you're going to have a child. And she says, don't be lying to me, because I said I'm good, but don't be lying to me. So anyways, he tells her this. And in verse 15 and verse 17 says, but the woman conceived and bore a son at the appointed time had come, of which Elijah had told her. And the child grew. Now it happened one day that he was out with his father, with the reapers, and said to his father, my head, my head. So he said to the servant, carry him to his mother. When he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noontime, and then he died. And so this is a child that she didn't even ask for, because she said she was good, and she told him, don't be lying to me. So now the child dies. So she lays the child on the bed, and she tells her husband, can you get me a donkey or whatever, because I need to go find Elijah. And he said, what's wrong? And is everything okay? Is everything okay? And she says, it's all well. It's well. She never spoke her child was dead. She never accepted. Even though she knew her child was dead, she never let it come out of his mouth. Why? Because, again, life and death is in your mouth. You can see something so horrible, but you do not have to speak it. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If God's inside of you, when you say something, it's going to happen as you say it. So you can't be saying negative things, even though it looks negative. Don't say it, because there's power within your words. So her son is dead, and her husband's saying, what's wrong? She's saying, it's all well. And she's, now on this donkey going for this man, and they're asking her, is it okay? So you go down, and it says, so it was when the man of God saw her afar off, that he said to his servant, look, the Shunammite woman, and this is verse 26, he says, please run now to meet her and say to her, is it well with you? Is it well with your husband? Is it well with your child? And she answered, it is well. But now her son's dead, but she's still saying, it is well. Now, when she came to the man of God at the hill, she caught him by his feet. And the servant came near to her and pushed her away. But the man of God said, let her alone, for her soul is in deep distress, and the Lord has hidden it from me. Goes to show he only knew what God was telling him. He didn't know everything. He only knew so much because God was speaking to him. And the lady comes there. She's at the hill. She didn't grab hold of his feet. She basically saying, you coming down this hill, I will pull you off of this hill. You didn't told me. I told you I'm good. I don't want nothing. But you blessed me with this boy. I done fell in love with this boy. Now he's dead. I will drag you off this hill. And this is because it says she grabbed hold of his feet, and the servant's trying to push her from him. And he's like, leave her alone. There's something wrong with her. I don't know what. God didn't reveal it to me. And then, so he says, it's hidden from me. 28 says, so she said, did I ask a son, my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? And this is what she's saying. I didn't ask for him, but you gave him to me. You're a man of God. Why are you deceiving me? Because now it's all messed up. I was good. I told you I was good, but I ain't good now because I didn't fall in love with this guy. Now I'm not good. So she got an issue, with him. Then he tells his servant, get yourself ready and take my staff and take it in your hand and go with her. And when you get to the child, basically, he says, lay it on a child's face, And the mother of the child said, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you. And again, she's saying, I ain't going with your servant. I don't care if you give him your staff. I don't care what you do. I'm with you. Because she knew he was the man of God. again, when we're dealing with situations in life and we go in here and there, no, stay with God. Stay with him. Speak how it is. Keep your eyes on God. Don't be looking here and looking there and trying to switch up whatever. Well, let me see what you say. No, I need you, God. You. I'm not leaving you. My prayers are coming to you. I'm praising you. I'm seeking you. And this is where I'm staying because this is what I need. And this is what she did. And he goes there. So Elisha gets up and goes with her because she ain't going nowhere. And then when he goes there, of course, lays on the child. And, of course, the child comes back to life. And she says, you are truly a man of God because he brought him back to life. That's how much that God was in him, that even can bring a child back to life. But he was no different than us. The difference was when he was called and he was chose, he kept his eyes where they were supposed to be at. He didn't waver. He didn't go here. He kept it right there. And that's why so much was able to happen in his life. And not only was that, he was actually so powerful when you look at 2 Kings chapter 13, 20 to 21, when he actually died and they buried him in his grave. They were having war and they actually had this man that was dead. So they hurried up and threw him in Elisha's gravesite in his tomb. And when the dead body fell on Elisha, who was dead, the dead body got up and started walking. The dead body came alive just by touching Elisha's dead body. That goes to show how powerful God is. And when he's on you, he's always on you. He doesn't leave, even when he was dead. Why? Because we're never really dead. We never really die. We're always living, going someplace else. That fleshly thing was sitting there, but the spirit was still powerful in that tomb. So that when the dead body fell on him, it got up and started walking. And so what I'm saying to you today, don't let distractions pull you from what God chose you to do. If you serve him and you love him, it's only because he chose you. And he chose you for something. And it could be mighty like that. Miracles didn't just happen to him. And I know because miracles still happen in my life. They still happen, but let God use you. But he can't use you if you're half-stepping. He can't just totally take over. But when you're sold out to him and you're a servant unto him, because that's who we are, servants unto him, not trying to get the crown. He has the crown. He's the king. We don't need to be in kingdomship. That's him. We trying to get by him? No, we're his servant. Even though he loves us so much and he calls us friend, we are still under him. We can't get it mixed up because he blesses us so much that we think we're equal to him. You are not equal to him. If you're doing anything, it's because he's doing it through you. It is not you. Because if he pulls the anointing off of you, you won't be able to do anything. You're only doing it because of him. That's why we stay humble in him, and we stay loving, and we stay forgiving, and we see what can I do to help somebody else. Even if I don't feel like doing it, they need me. Let me get up and let me do it. Because it ain't about me, it's about him. And when you get to the point that it's all about him, you're going to see that calling on your life. There's purpose in it. And you're going to see, again, like I said, doors that opens that you never knew exist. Praise God.